A woman's body has been discovered on the grounds of a school in Sydney CBD.
A woman has been found bashed to death at a prestigious private school in Sydney CBD.
Good morning. There's been a horrific discovery at a school in Sydney CBD. The body of a young woman, the school's water polo coach, found by police.
On the 26th of October of 2023, Australia woke up to very saddening news. A 21-year-old student had been beaten to death in the bathroom of a gymnasium of a prestigious Sydney school. The police found her dead with serious head injuries, which led her to be unrecognizable when discovered, suggesting that she may have been beaten to death with a hammer. However, the police only found the body after receiving a tip-off from an unidentified man who informed them that there was a body at the school. This then brings us to this question: did this man witness the murder, or did he orchestrate the murder? They checked the CCTV footage, which had reportedly captured a young woman identified as Lily James walking into the bathroom before catching a young man following behind her. The man was Paul Tyson, a 24-year-old hockey coach who worked with Lily James. After a while, Tyson emerged alone from the bathroom. Around 10 a.m. the next day, the woman's body was confirmed to be Lily James. This revelation in the tip-off officially began the search for the murderer, as the police believed the caller could assist with the investigation. The police also wanted Tyson to come in for questioning, but he was nowhere to be found. They traced the tip-off to a location 11 kilometers away from the crime scene. It was in the Gap in Vaucluse, a very notorious crime spot. Coincidentally, a CCTV in the same area captured the last known movements of Tyson. Tyson became a prime suspect, and the police began to investigate if he had killed himself after the crime. By the second day, they arrived at Vaucluse with helicopters and boats to conduct line searches across the South Head Reserve while police patrolled the area for any sightings of Tyson. They sealed off the area around the cliff edge at Diamond Bay and set up a rescue tent nearby. Around 5 p.m. on the second day, the police found a backpack containing items that were identified to belong to Tyson and a bloodied hammer. Then and there, they concluded that this hammer was the weapon used to bash James's head to death. By the morning of the third day, the police returned to Diamond Bay with ambulances. A group of tradesmen working nearby on a construction site at the top of the cliff spotted a body lying beneath the Diamond Bay Reserve. The rescue and bomb disposal unit exhumed the body. It was identified to be a male with fingerprints belonging to Paul Tyson. Tyson had arrived at Diamond Bay Cliff at 10 p.m. after he had murdered James. However, he didn't place the tip-off call until 11 p.m. What had he been doing before he tipped off the police? Why did this guy kill James and jump to his death? Lily James was born in May of 2002 to Jamie and Peter James and was a bright presence in Sans Souci, New South Wales. After she graduated from Danbank in 2020, James pursued sports business at the University of Technology, Sydney. James got a part-time gig as a water polo coach at St. Andrew's Cathedral School, which allowed her to share her passion with her eager students, and it was there that she met Paul Tyson. Paul, an only child from the Netherlands, had once walked the same school corridors. His tenure as a student at St. Andrews from 2015 to 2017 left an indelible mark when he was the sports captain and part of the school's leadership team. In 2018, Tyson was hired by the school to work as a sports assistant coach before he completed his degree at a university in the Netherlands. He returned in 2020, this time as a cricket and hockey coach, and after-hours coordinator working alongside James. He had also began a postgraduate education degree hoping to become a PE teacher. They had no history of domestic violence-related issues or apprehended violence issues. Tyson himself never had any run-in with the law. Nothing whatsoever indicated any future trouble. 5 weeks before James's murder, two co-workers had started a romance. The relationship had blossomed quietly, but it had fizzled out a few days before the murder. Unfortunately, Tyson did not take the breakup well. The love story quickly turned into a case of, if I can't have you, then no one else can. On the day of the murder, Paul traveled to a hardware store to purchase a hammer and rented a Lexus car, which he drove to the school. The two coaches stayed back at the school to collect and put away sports equipment after the school's teams returned to the school from their various practice locations. At around 7 p.m., James walked into the gymnasium bathroom with Tyson following her closely, and given that they had split up a few days prior, a fierce argument broke out in the bathroom. About an hour later, Tyson walked out of the bathroom alone, left the building, and arrived at the Diamond Bay Reserve, where he disposed of his backpack and bloodied hammer in a bin. According to the police reports, Tyson had sent a text message to James's father using her phone, asking him to come pick her up from work. However, this roused her father's suspicion, as he recognized how James texted, and the text he got was different than how she would usually text. Her family then called the police to request a welfare check at the school where she worked at. James' father's world came crashing down when he heard that the police received a 000 call from an unidentified number, which turned out to be Tyson. By the time his body got exhumed from Diamond Bay Reserve, it was clear that Tyson premeditated James's murder, fully aware of what he was doing and had very clear intentions of what he was going to do to James. This again brings us to another question. If Tyson was trying to cover his tracks by sending the text message to James's dad, then why did he call the police to tip them off? It's almost as if during the 2 hours that he spent at the bay before calling police, the weight of his actions bore heavily on him, and out of guilt, he jumped to his death from the cliff. After James's death, some students shared their experience about James and Tyson, according to them. Tyson left a lasting impression that wasn't entirely positive. Tyson apparently didn't shy away from discussing and boasting about his relationship with Miss James. Some found this behavior unsettling, to say the least. Some students described him as a creep who had a wandering eye and a flirtatious personality that made most female students uncomfortable, especially within the sports team. He was also described as an arrogant narcissist who objectified women. He had such a fragile ego and wanted to be in control of his relationships, and he proved that in the most horrific way possible. Do you think that these were the signs that James saw that made her break up with Tyson? We'd love to know your thoughts, and be sure to click on the card on the screen to solve the next crime story with us.